Hi folks, Rick here. Welcome to my channel. Alright, so today we're going to be installing, I don't even know what this is called, basically all new tie rods, tie rod ends, all that kind of front end suspension type stuff there, but it's just all the rod ends and those types of things. So I want to show you what I got. I got a kit here, but there's a couple things that you need to really, one thing here that we need to buy as well. Well, let me just get started here. So the first item on our list here is a center link or a center drag link. This is just a big piece of steel, and it unfortunately has a little ball joint, whatever you call these things here. I'm just going to call them ball joints from now on out. But it has a ball joint installed on the end of it. So in order to replace this, you got to get this whole bar. It'd be nice if this was a screw-in or something like that, so you didn't have to buy this thing. It's not outrageously expensive, but when you look at this thing, it's like, well, I don't need this thing. It's a big piece of steel. But this right here goes up and connects into your steering arm, and so if this is bad, you're going to get a lot of slop in there. So you got to buy one of these things here, the center link or center drag link, whatever they want to call the things. On the other side here, you're going to have your steering arm that connects to this, and then you're going to have this little idler arm here that connects to this end. This connects up on the frame. You'll need one of those here. It's got a big bushing on this side, and then it's also got a little ball joint in the end of it. You're also going to need all your tie rod end links and stuff like that. So there's two sets of these here, but you got one side of it here that connects here. I think this is the side here. I think this is the side that connects to your center link. Then you've got your little spacer. It comes with the new spacer. And then you got your other side here that connects to the actual steering arm. And it could be reversed. I don't know. I'll have to look at that once I get on there. But you'll need all these as well to do it. Highly recommend getting a new sleeve and everything like that. This stuff can get all rusty on you. Just buy the whole set and you're good to go. So that's it. Since I'm replacing this thing here, I'm going to take this off as kind of unit and do some of the stuff on the bench. So I'm going to spend a little bit, the least amount of time under the car as possible, and then get it up on the bench, and then we can show you some more detail up on there. So let's go ahead and get this thing installed. This should be nothing fancy with this. This is all stock replacement components that I'm putting on there. I just want to get it freshened up, make sure everything on the front end is brand new, ready to go, and so it'll handle the best. So with that, let's get started on it. Okay, so here's a little closer look at some of the stuff. This is your center link, your drag link, or whatever have you. This will connect up actually to your steering bar arm on your steering box. You've got this here is your idler arm. This will go up and attach to your frame. There's a bolt coming out. This here will connect to the other side of your center link here. And then you've got your tie rods here. So you got one that's going to connect to your, I don't know, your spindle control arm thing there that it does. I don't know if this is what side connects to what, but you've got this end of it. You've got a sleeve here with some like locking wash things, and then you got this other side here. So this is your whole tie rod assembly here. This allows you to adjust it to control your toe in and stuff like that. So and there's two sets of these things here. So you need one drag link, one of an idler arm, and two sets of these tie rod assemblies here, and that'll get you done there. So let's go ahead and get these installed. All right, folks, so here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking our tie rod end off here, and then we're going to be taking our center link here off of our steering arm. We're not going to be removing the other end of this tie rod here at all. We're not going to touch any of this stuff. We want to leave all this stuff together. We're going to pop this one off. We're going to pop the steering arm off, and we're going to hopefully get them loose. We're going to leave them all together. We can drop this one here down. Then we're going to go on the other side. The other side is just the same, but instead of our steering arm, we're going to have our pitman arm. We're just going to pop that off, pop this off here again. And once we got everything loose, we're simply going to take our idler arm off, and then we're going to take our steering arm off, and this whole thing's going to come off as assembly. And that's the way we're going to take it there. We don't want to mess with any of this stuff right here, right now. So what we're going to end up doing is taking this up on the bench, very easily taking it apart. We're going to take some measurements, and then we're going to disassemble this thing here in a way that we can put it back to where hopefully our alignment's close enough to get it to the alignment shop. So we're going to try to do as little as possible underneath the car. We'll get it out on the bench when we work on it. We're going to assemble it back on the bench, and then we'll put it back up underneath the car there, and it'll be good to go. So let's go ahead here, and we'll remove these cotter pins here. And I'm going to go ahead and remove these cotter pins, and I'm going to loosen these nuts up just a little bit. I'm not going to take them off, and then we'll see if we can break those things loose. So let me get reset up. All right. Not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not, but I've got our nut loose here. You want to bring it flat to the top of the nut, not take it off. Then we're going to stick our little removal tool here, hopefully in here. And what this thing's going to do is going to slide in between there. This little thing here is going to sit on top of that nut, and it's going to hopefully pop this thing off. That's the theory. We'll see if that truly happens. Let's see here. I might need to adjust this out here a little bit to the next size. They make all sorts of tools, so there's a possibility you might need to go to the rental store and rent you something. I'm hoping that this is going to work. There we go. I don't know if I can get this where you can see it as well. What we're going to want to do is tighten this up, and then we want to beat right on the outside of this arm just to get it a little bit of a jolt there to pop it off. So let's see here what this does. Apply a little pressure. I'd love for it just to pop right off. That'd be nice. Nothing ever works that way for me. Probably be out here with a god-darn thing and trying to heat it and every other darn thing. Holy cow, look at that. Ha ha! Woo! Yeah, look at that. That bad boy is loose. Holy cow. That must mean I'm not going to be able to get the other one off. This is how you do this. So we're going to get up under here now and try doing the center link off our, let me see if I can even show you this. Yep. We're going to try getting our center link here off. We're going to do it the same way. In fact, I'm going to slide this over a little bit. Maybe you can just watch a little bit here. Yeah, probably not going to get the good angle on it like I did on that other one. Hopefully it was a good angle. Or no angle. Holy cow. I can feel a hand smasher coming. Holy cow. All right. So, probably not going to be able to see. I had to beat that in there, which is okay. Now we're going to tighten it up. And hopefully we have the same luck as we had that other one. Yeah, you just want to get it snugged up there. And then see if we can tap on this thing here without... Yes, the master. Holy crap. Woo. I hope the other side goes as good. If that does, this will be quick and easy. That's what we want right there. So I'm going to go on the other side, and it's the same thing. We're going to take this one off. Instead of this one being our actual steering arm, whatever this thing is, I keep have to look at what I'm pointing at right here. I'm not sure what this here is called. This is, I don't know what this is, your spindle arm, something like that. But on the other side, you're going to have this one here, and then this one right here, instead of being your steering there, it's going to be your little idler arm on there. It's going to look very similar to the same, but we're going to break that loose on that side, and then break this one loose. Then we're just going to take all these nuts off and drop this whole assembly down, and we're going to take it and get it on the bench for us. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. All right, folks, I got the other side off here. So I went ahead now and took this one off. On this one here, I broke my idler arm off here. But what I want to do here, really, I didn't think about this here when I was doing this, but we just want to take this item. We don't actually need to break that one off. We want to just loosen this here, bolt here, and then this whole thing will just slide off because we're putting a new idler arm on here anyway. So I was just thinking of something different. So all we got to do is just pop this one here off on this side, this one here, then this whole thing's going to slide down. Then we're going to go over there and pull it off on the other side. So just a cotter pin here. This thing should be, if it's greased, it should just slide right down and slide off there. So let's check that out. All right, so there's that idler arm there. It slides down, and there's the bolt that slides down. You can see it's rusty here, so we're going to, again, grease the holy heck out of that thing. We put that back on. But, yep, so you can see now this whole thing's dangling down. I'm just going to go on the other side and take those bolts off. We'll take this whole 9 yards on the bench where we can look at it. All right, folks, I got this whole thing out. You can kind of see it here. See, so this is the end that went to my steering arm. This one went to the driver's side there. I don't know, whatever you call that god darn thing. The spindle. Then we've got down here, this is our idler arm there. Again, I just slid this off, and then I took it off on that side there. So we can set up here. So what we're going to do here, we want to try to get our alignment as best we can. So I'm going to recommend doing two different things here. Measure from center to center. So as I look at this here, I put it in the center of this grease circle. I'm going to put it on the 1, and then I'm going to put this one over here. So this is 15, so it's actually 14 inches here, end to end. And so we kind of want to look at on how this stuff goes together, and then in addition to measuring this distance here, I'm going to go ahead and count the number of threads here that I turn this darn thing. So I want to sit there and try to turn it. So this is coming off. So I've loosened this top bolt here. I left this one on because I don't want this to come off yet. I want just this top one here. So I'm just going to try to turn this thing around here. I'm going to squirt a little bit of lube in there. Try to. Oh, here's it. It's split on this side. There we go. Good mess. I just want to try to spin this around and count the turns here. It takes off. Now, one of these is likely to be reverse thread, so we're going to have to kind of watch out for that. I don't know which one it is. So let's just see here if this one comes off. This one's coming out this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, about 32 turns. Now, it's hard to say here whether or not all these are going to be equal. When you put this together, they don't have to be equal. You should. But what happens is they're going to turn this thing here at the alignment shop, and that's going to make both of these go in and out because one's one way, one's the other. So you want to kind of start, when you put these together, we're going to want to start putting them in the same amount. That way you got equal adjustment on a thing there. So I'm about 32. I'll see what this one here is. Hopefully that's about 32. And then when I go to assemble it there, I'm going to go back and get my 14 inches center to center and see if that's about 32. Now, is this the exact identical size as the new one? I don't know. So that's why we want to take this measurement. So that way, when it comes back together, it will be darn close here. So I got that one off. It's about 32. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one off, and we'll see what that one is. But I'll just do that myself. All right, so I'm on to the other side. Surprisingly, both of these were right about. This one's like 31. It was a little marginal on there, so very good. Want to take our measurement on the other side. If all this stuff is symmetrical, which it should be, doesn't mean it is. They should both be pretty darn close to the same. This one doesn't have grease zerks. If I kind of hold that one in the center, hold this in the center, I'm getting about 15 on this one, or 14 on this one here. I'm starting with a 1. So these are both the same. So that's good. So I'm going to sit there, and now I'm just going to double check and do both of these here. I think they should be the same. So let's go ahead and I've counted the turns on that one and measured it. This one should be the same. So we're going to go ahead now and reassemble this thing here. So let's get started with that. Okay, when we go to put this back together, the reason I want this thing to come off as assembly here and do the least amount of work as possible is so we know how this goes back together. So if we look here, you will see, let's see if you can see this. You can see this here like this and goes downwards. So it's got a bend in it. And if we look at this new one right here, you can see it's got a bend. So the bend goes up towards here, your tie rod end. So that's something we want to do. So all our links here, everything's going to bolt in. Everything's going to bolt in this way on both sides here. It's going to bolt this side this way. This one's going to bolt in that way, and we'll be good to go. So just take your time with this stuff. keep this stuff here and make sure you get it back on the same way. Alright folks, so we get ready to put our new stuff back together here. You want to put some good anti-seize. Put anti-seize all over that. And put anti-seize on the inside of this thing here as well. That way when you're screwing it in, it gets all on there. That's going to make things 10 times easier. So we're going to want to stick our little things on here. Here first. And hopefully here. I'm going to just screw this thing on here gently. Hopefully I can get it going the right way. In fact, I'm just going to take that off. Find out which way this thing goes. There's a right hand and a left hand. This seems to be right. So about 32 should get me. Put some of that excess down in there. All right, now we are going to take this one here and do the same thing. It's probably backwards. Yep. So one's forward, one's backwards. And now we're going to back this off and take it back out because I forgot to put these clamps on. You guys didn't say anything. Let me out here do this. Okay, we'll slide our clamps on now. Now we'll get back after it again. Alrighty. So now I'm going to put this on here. Just going to take some measurements here quick. See how close I am to the 15 or 14 inches. Alright, I gotta go in just a little bit more. I'll take this one in one. This one in one. That should be good. Let's see what that looks like. That is spot on. All right. Now I'm just going to sit here real quick and just snug these little things up here just so they don't move. I want to keep them loose just a little bit. And then once I get all this stuff on, then we'll go under there and tighten them. Of course, this takes different socket and wrench. Some heck size is this thing here? Yeah, I tell you, there's nothing better than working with anti-seize, boy. It's just everywhere. I don't know what size this nut is. Boy, it's not some funky size, I'll tell you that. Where's that crack? Right there. Okay. Alright, I gotta readjust this one. Alright, I gotta get a different wrench yet. So I'm gonna tighten these ones up. I'll go do the other side, put the other one together, and then we'll get this thing all back together. Alright folks, I got my center link on here, and I'm fixing to put this tie rod assembly here together. What I'm going to do here is put some grease on these threads right here. Then I'm going to go just put some right inside here as best I can. Try to get it in there in my center link. Make sure I got a good one here. Now if you look at your old one here, you got a bent side. This bent side goes this way to go around this end here. So we're going to just stick this in here like this, and we're going to just barely tighten it down here with our fingers. There we go. Just like that. Our other side here again, same way. We're going to put a little bit of grease on here. Go. And again, we're going to have our pitman iron here, so you want this piece here to be on this same side here. The bend goes toward this center link. Again here, we'll just stick this in here. We're just going to screw this in real nice and easy to get a little bit of pressure. There we go. Slide this over this way. All right. Alrighty. Last thing we want to do is put this idler arm on. So this has got, it's a flat spot here that goes up against here. We're going to come up from the bottom here, but it comes with this little spongy washer here. You can see this thing here, sorry. We want to put that on here. That kind of seals the grease in. And then actually I want to take a little bit of this grease and put it on this arm right here. I want to get this good and greased. In fact, that wasn't enough. I'll put a little bit more on there. Some more up on top of here. Yeah, this is all in the name of trying to get this back off. All right, so is my nut here? All right, so we're gonna stick this up underneath here. Stick some of that grease over on this side. Oops. I give it a washer, excuse me. Alright. So this one has a washer on it. You got to stick on here too, because it's just flat here. We'll stick a washer first, and we'll stick our castle nut on here. And again, just snug everything down tight. Alright, so this thing is ready to go back in. What we got to do here, see if you can watch it, is this other end of the idler arm. We want to put a lot of grease on this and put it on that shaft. We're going to slide it up on there. We want to make sure it's good and lubed up. It's got a metal on the inside, but you just want to put some grease on it. Put some grease on the outside, put some grease on the outside of the top. We also want to take our grease gun and grease all the grease zerks on this thing here before we put it in as well. Then we're going to get up under there and do our best here to lift this up and try to get this idler arm nut on, and the one that goes over there on our steering arm here. So let me show you this quick here. We're going to get this one's already got the nut on, but we're going to do that to hold them on there. And I'm going to get some grease right now. I want to put grease all on this side here as well, and on this shaft here. Anything that we are squishing together, I put a little bit of grease on there. So I'm going to go get this all going. I'm going to get it greased, and then I'm going to slide it back onto the car, and then I'm going to try to get this bolt and the idler arm bolt up on her just so it's held off the ground. Then we'll go ahead and put this thing back together. So let me go ahead and get after that. All right, folks, I got the whole thing lifted up in there. It went pretty easy. So I got this one up on my steering arm here, tighten it down really good, put the cotter P in, tighten the other end of this tie rod in down there. It's on that side. Tightened it up, put the cotter pin on it here to my spindle area, tighten this one up. Then I also checked here, I made sure the opening was facing down so the water would drain out of this one here. So it might be slightly out of alignment, but that's okay. And then I tighten these ones up here. And then let me show you on the other side here real quick. All right, so this one here, got our little idler arm here, tightened up, torqued, a lot of grease here, tightened up, torqued. The other end of this, you can see it right there, the tie rod in, torqued, all the cotter key in, and then this one right here. And again, tighten these ones here up. So this is done. What I'm going to do now is go back here and just pump grease in her. Now that I've got all these down, I'm going to pump some more grease in, and then this job will be done. So pretty easy here. Again, you know, thankfully there, all these little joints came off nice and easy. Didn't have any, you know, too big of issues there, so that was good. Felt like I'm lucky on that, but pretty easy here. Some of these ones were a little loose. I felt like the one on that side might have been fairly new. The ones on this side were not. Somebody's been into the suspension. I see some new pieces, some not. And so I don't know where to even start. So I just pull it all out, put new in. Now I know it's all brand new, ready to go. My goal is on to make this thing like good bulletproof. So now it's all good to go. So this is it. pretty easy putting on all new tie rods and a new center link and a new idler arm. Pretty easy to do. So take care. Hope yours goes as good as mine did.